Come and take this badge off of me. I can't use it anymore. There's a long black cloud coming down. I feel like I'm knocking on heaven's door. Knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door. Knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door. Knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door. Knock, knock.
Hey, and welcome back to our channel. Sad news on our desk report that Mike Peters, that has been famously known as the frontman of Welsh rockers, The Alarm, sadly passed away at the age of 66. The Denbighshire-born singer has been battling cancer for over 3 decades.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it was. I was in a difficult position. I had pneumonia. I developed like a chronic lung disease, and my leukemia went out of control. And it was all probably a result of the pandemic, really, because I wasn't allowed to see my doctors. It was all telephone consultations and going off the stats of blood counts, and so the big picture was being overlooked. Not by anybody's fault, just that's how it was for a lot of people in lockdown. And when I finally got to go into hospital, it became apparent that there was a lot of things out of control and that needed to be arrested. And
well, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I want to know, were you having some thoughts during the pandemic of like, oh, something doesn't feel quite right? Or like, did you kind of know in the back of your mind that this,
yeah,
because you've been battling cancer for I don't even know how many years now.
Yeah.
You know you're like, what, 2 decades or something. You know your body pretty well at this point.
That's right. Yeah, I think the giveaway was I started with a cough that never stopped, and it drove the family mad. I was like all the time, and even when we did our tour with the Alarm in February, the 40th anniversary tour, I was coughing all through the day, but not on stage. It was weird. As soon as I walked on stage and was distracted, it stopped. But I was very tired on the tour, and I was sleeping a lot during the day. And we were playing pretty intense shows, and then there was a lot of time at night. I woke up in the morning with severe night sweats, which is always a big giveaway that something terrible's happening. And of course it was. And then so when I came off the tour, I had pneumonia, and again when that was diagnosed, there was a lot of pandemic protocols in place, and I got there late in the day. I went to see the doctor about the cough and some symptoms, and he realised that there was something not right and sent me to an emergency daycare unit in the hospital. And I got there probably at 4:30 in the afternoon. So they said, we're going to try and get you a CT scan and an X-ray. And they said, we can't get you the CT scan till tomorrow morning, but we have got you an X-ray. And the X-ray revealed that I had huge... very aggressive pneumonia. It was quite far advanced. It was in both my lungs, and it was not good. But I think at that point they thought, aha, that's why he's got the cough. And I think if I'd had the CT scan, which I never had, because they thought, oh, we've got the problem here, it's pneumonia, that would have revealed all the underlying causes that were going on as well. And so when I got through to the end of the first pneumonia cycle, it's not getting better, the cough isn't going, and I kept phoning the doctors, and they'd say, oh, give it time, you need to rest more, we know you'll be working when you should be resting.
or climbing Mount Everest or something.
Yeah, that's it. So I was hung by my own petard at that point, as they say. And then it was it got out of hand, and I realised I couldn't even walk out the door. Jules took me for a walk one day, and I got 100 yards and I had to turn back, and I couldn't even cross a sports field to see my son play. And so Jules got me in the hospital the next day, and then they did the CT scans and the full range of testing, and the pandemic protocols had been lifted for the most part, and it became clear that I was in a desperate situation. And what looked like at first it was another case of pneumonia, it was actually blood that was filling my lungs this time. It was much more severe than a case of pneumonia. So I was in a bad place, and luckily they were able to get me straight onto the wards. I had a drain put into my back, which wasn't a nice procedure, to get inside my lung and drain off all the blood. And that was then I knew I was going to be in hospital for a long time once they'd explained to me the severity of the situation. So
how long were you in?
I was in there for a few months. So
wow.
I said to Jules, think I could have I asked the nurses first, think I could have my guitar brought in, you know.
So before we get into that though, I mean, I hate to ask such a dark question so early in the interview, but you know, we've known each other for a bit, and we've talked a lot about, the first time I interviewed you, we went really into detail about.
And I first saw the Sex Pistols in 1976, and that's what started me playing the guitar. I asked Johnny Rotten what Anarchy in the UK was all about, and he told me to F off. And so I decided to plug my energy into what Steve Jones was doing. I got myself a guitar at a Jedson out of Woolworths or somewhere like that, and started playing the guitar from that point.
And nowadays you're more common to acoustic guitar. So.
Yeah, started out life as an electric guitarist in my first punk band, The Toilets, in 1977, and we ended up playing with the Clash and the Buzzcocks and all that, but it sort of burnt out fairly quickly, and but the energy became the Alarm, and we for a while we didn't really. We struggled to translate the songs I was writing from the acoustic guitar, which I used at home, into the electric band environment. And then one day we decided to put the electric pickups in our acoustic guitars, and that seemed to sort of work with the songs and the music that we were creating. So I'm generally seen as playing an acoustic guitar, although these days I use the Fender Telecaster most of the time.
The Denbighshire-born singer has been battling cancer for over 3 decades. Mike Peters' band was founded out of the punk era and had a top 20 hit, 68 Guns, in 1983. They would go on to sell an estimated 5 million records and also become the first Welsh musicians since Tom Jones and Bonnie Tyler to crack America. Mike was diagnosed with lymphoma in 1995. And later with chronic lymphocytic leukemia with his wife, Julies. He will be remembered for co-founding Love, Hope, Strength, a charity to drive action around stem cell donation. Mike Peters will be greatly missed, and our thoughts goes out to his family and loved ones, and may his soul rest in eternal peace. Let us know what was your best song when it comes to Mike Peters, and what memories you have when it comes to him. What do you learn from some of his last moments videos? And as you do this, kindly keep the comments respectful. Thank you for watching Tajness Media, and please consider subscribing and turning on the bell so that you don't miss out on anything that we upload. We promise to keep you posted in case there is anything officially reported when it comes to his funeral arrangements and so on. I love you guys, and keep safe. Bye bye.